Here's something no one warns you about. Your NinjaTrader runs perfectly clean at the open. The charts snap, orders fly, everything feels buttery. But sometime around lunchtime, about 4 hours in, your charts start stuttering. Your dome gets sticky, and you have no idea why. You didn't change anything. You didn't open any new windows. So what do? You blame NinjaTrader. You file a support ticket. You curse at the platform. But here's the truth. It's not NinjaTrader's fault. Not really. It's a slow, silent memory creep, and it has way more to do with how Windows hands out RAM than anything the platform is doing wrong. I'm going to show you exactly what's happening under the hood, why it gets worse the longer you trade, and the one thing that makes the whole problem disappear. And it's not the thing that every other video tells you. So what is actually happening? Let me explain it in plain English. NinjaTrader is a data-hungry beast. Every tick that comes in, every chart recalculation, every order fill, every ATM strategy, all that gets loaded into memory, or RAM. It's just a workspace that your computer uses to juggle everything around in real time. Now here's the part nobody talks about. When you run NinjaTrader for hours straight, it doesn't always give the memory back cleanly. It holds on to little bits and pieces. Over a 4 or 5 hour session, those little bits pile up. The technical term is a memory leak. It's when a program slowly eats more and more RAM and doesn't release it. By itself, that's annoying, but here's where it turns into a real problem. When your available memory gets squeezed, Windows starts doing something sneaky. It begins shuffling data out of your fast RAM and dumping it onto your hard drive. That's called virtual memory, and it's dramatically slower than real RAM. We're talking the difference between grabbing a pen off your desk versus driving to the store to buy one. That's the exact moment your chart starts stuttering. Not because NinjaTrader broke, but because Windows ran out of fast workspace and started faking it. Now think about when this hits you. You've been running since 9:30 right at the open. It's now 1:30 in the afternoon. The market's been quiet, but then suddenly there's a news spike. Volume explodes. And right when you need to fire off an order, your dome freezes for half a second. Half a second doesn't sound like much until that half a second is the difference between a clean fill and 3 ticks of slippage on a 5-contract trade. That's a couple $100 gone on one trade because your computer was choking on its own memory. Now, most of the advice out there tries to manage this problem instead of killing it. And some of it's genuinely useful. But let me give you the good stuff first. There's a maintenance trick a lot of pros swear by. When NinjaTrader is fully closed, not minimized, but fully shut down, navigate to your Documents folder. Find your NinjaTrader 8 folder, open the database folder inside of it, and delete 4 folders. Delete tick, minute, day, and cache folders. Those are your historical data cache files. Don't worry about deleting them because they rebuild automatically when you reopen NinjaTrader and reconnect your data feed. You're not losing anything permanently, but clearing them out removes all the accumulated bloat that slows down chart loading over time. Do that, reboot your machine, and you'll notice the difference. Make it part of your Sunday routine before the week starts. Here's another big one. Open your indicators and check the calculation setting. If it's set to on each tick, you're burning processing cycles recalculating that indicator on every single price movement, even when nothing meaningful changed. For most indicators, switching that to on bar close or on price change instantly lightens the load. And one more, check your data series. By default, NinjaTrader loads 5 days of history on your charts. The problem is 5 days sounds manageable until you switch time frames and NinjaTrader has to recalculate thousands of bars you don't need. The fix is to stop loading by days entirely and switch the unit to bars instead. That way you control exactly how much data you're dragging around regardless of what time frame you're on. Those tricks help, but here's the part that most videos won't tell you. They're all band-aids. They're slowing down how fast the leak fills the bucket. They're not making the bucket bigger. And that's the real issue. If you want to know exactly what hardware actually fixes this for good, I put together a free, complete guide to trading computers, and it walks you through exactly what to look for so you stop guessing. So let's talk about the bucket. Here's the counterintuitive part that surprises almost everyone. The memory leak is real, but the leak isn't really your problem. Your problem is you don't have enough headroom for the leak to be irrelevant. Think of it like a bathtub with a slow drip filling it up. If you're trading on 16 gigabytes of RAM, that tub is really small. That drip fills up in 4 hours and then starts to overflow. That's when your charts stutter. But if you've got 32 or 64 gigabytes, that tub is so big, the drip can run all day and never come close to overflowing. You restart at the end of the session and you reset it anyway. The leak still exists, you just never feel it. Here's the real-world difference. Run NinjaTrader with 6 charts, a couple of domes, an ATM strategy, and a browser full of news on 16 gigabytes. You'll start swapping to the disk by early afternoon. Same exact setup on 32 gigabytes of RAM. You've got so much breathing room, the memory creep never catches up to you. Bump it up to 64 gigabytes and you can run multiple platforms side by side and still not flinch. And this is a thing that these online brokers will never tell you. They all say, any modern trading computer runs NinjaTrader just fine. And technically at 9:30, they're right. The problem is they're not traders. They never watch their own dome freeze during an FOMC spike at 2 p.m. They sell trading, not workstations. So they have no clue what 4 hours of live data does to a machine that's been running on fumes. Non-traders think a computer's a computer. They check email, they browse Amazon, they watch YouTube, and they never really push their RAM past a fraction of what's there. You're doing something completely different. You're feeding a live fire hose of market data into multiple programs for hours without a break. That's not normal computer use. That's an industrial-grade workload, and it needs industrial-grade headroom. And here's why the leak gets worse, not better, as your trading improves. The more confident you get, the more charts you add, more instruments, more indicators, more domes. You're not running the same setup you ran a year ago. Your workload grows, but your RAM stays the same. So a machine that survived your first 6 months start buckling once you start scaling up. So here's the bottom line. Those maintenance tricks are worth doing. Clear your cache folders, fix your tick calculations, and trim your data series. Do all of that, but understand you're managing a symptom. The actual cure is headroom. A dedicated trading machine with 32 gigabytes of RAM minimum and 64 if you're running multiple platforms gives that slow leak so much room it becomes a non-issue. You'll trade from the open straight through the close and never feel a single stutter. No mid-afternoon freeze, no mystery slowdown, no support ticket. And that's the leak nobody warned you about. And now you know it's not the platform. It's the room you gave it to breathe. And dude, why haven't you subscribed yet? Do yourself a favor, slam the subscribe button. I'm going to keep making videos to help you optimize your trading experience. And if you want to see the greatest trading computer of all time, you want to watch this video next. My name's Eddie Z. Thanks for watching, and may the trend be with you.